Hi, and welcome to the Brisbane Professionals Podcast. This is a podcast brought to you by SMS Law, going through the legal secrets that will benefit you and your clients, as well as having a little bit of fun as we go. This podcast is designed to educate you on, number one, complicated legal terms that we will explain in an easy to understand manner. Two, to understand why you do things from a legal perspective in your business. And three, to help you develop a plan for the future success of your business. Our mission is to help empower small to medium-sized businesses around the world to get access to legal advice so that they can help build their communities and make the world a better place. Did you know that any business owner is on average 7 months away from losing everything? That is the average time that it takes from a successful business to fold when an aspect of their business is not set up correctly. This podcast is all about empowering you and your business with knowledge and tools to ensure that that doesn't happen to you or to your clients. Let's begin, shall we?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Brisbane Professional Podcast. My name is Craig Mason. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, Jeremy, for joining us as well. Say hello to our listeners and viewers and anyone else that's tuning in.
Hello, listeners, viewers, and anyone else who's tuning in.
Oh, they could be tuning in.
Tuning in, probably more appropriate. They might be having their lunch while they're reading to it.
Could be. Breakfast.
You are? I hope it's an enjoyable meal. But thank you, Craig, for the welcome.
No worries. And thank you to everyone else for tuning in. All right, today we wanted to talk about wills and what is a will. Pretty important thing, not something that everyone wants to discuss, but we here at the Brisbane Professional Podcast deal with all the hard issues that people may not want to think about, and it's vitally important to think about your will and put one in place. So, you know, a will is a document that's drafted. There are different ways to draft them now. There's text message wills and other more informal wills, but traditionally it's on a piece of paper, handwritten or typed out, and it outlines your wishes if something was to happen to you and you pass away, who's your executor, what you want to happen to your estate. And in order to comply, you need to sign it, and it needs to be witnessed by two people over the age of 18 that can't be beneficiaries or potential beneficiaries to that will. So there are some informal ways, text messages, as I said, things like that, or a grouping of documents to form a will, but traditionally it's a piece of paper that's typed that outlines your wishes. So Jeremy, that's what a will is, but why should we have one? What are the advantages of having it?
Yeah, I mean, the simple answer to that question, Craig, as you know, is because it's your legacy and you should decide where it goes. If you don't have a will, a disadvantage of that is that your estate goes in what we call the law of intestacy, which means that there's government rules that say where the money will go, and depending on where you're listening from, the rules may vary. And basically, if you don't want that to happen, then you need to have a will. A lot of people think, if they're married, that their estate will just all go to their spouse, and that won't necessarily be the case if there are other children or other people in that in the relationship, or other people that could be beneficiaries. So the advantage of the will is really putting in place what you want to happen, and also when you pass away, obviously your family and your loved ones they're going to be pretty sad about that happening. And if you complicate that by not having a will, means that there'll be a lot more uncertainty. So you're actually also looking after them by giving them certainty into what they need to have in place. So everyone should have a will. If for no other reason than to give certainty to their loved ones about what you want to happen with your estate when you pass away, and to ensure that you don't have the laws of intestacy apply and your estate go some other way that you don't know. So Craig, one of the most important roles in having a will is other beneficiaries, because they're the ones who benefit from the estate. What do people need to consider when choosing beneficiaries?
Yep. It really depends, I guess, on the family dynamic and what is there. But you'll hear sometimes people say, I just want to give it all to Neville, and then Neville will sort it all out. Now, the difficulty with that, of course, is that Neville may well sort it out, but Neville may also put it all into his bank account and not sort it out. So, and we're not picking on Nevilles out there. That's just a name that I've for today's show. But you need to consider the ages of your children as beneficiaries. If you've got brothers and sisters, you might want to leave something to. Parents, the ages of your parents, obviously. You might have other structures in place as well, shareholding in companies or in trusts. So you need to really think about exactly what you've got, and from that flows to what beneficiaries are going to benefit from your estate. So plenty of things to consider, and it's got to be in the document in order to go where you want it to. The only exception to that is superannuation, which is dealt with differently outside of the will. But anything else, you need to really put it into the will as to what you want as the beneficiaries, and not rely on Neville, poor old Neville. Yeah. Jeremy, how do you get started?
Well, before I do that, I'd just like to reassure all our listeners and viewers that no Nevilles were harmed in the making of this episode. Okay?
No.
So just to be wary of that.
No, we love Neville. Anyway.
We love Neville's. The last thing that we wanted to just consider is, how do you go about making a will? So as a lot of people will know, especially in the professional space, you can go to the post office and get a will kit. That will work for people who aren't really professionals. People who maybe have a house or don't have a lot of possessions, they can go and get a will kit from the post office. Anyone where you've got any sort of complexity, any sort of business interest, any sort of potential liability for you or your children, you really want to go and see your lawyer to make sure that you draft the appropriate will for your circumstances. And if you have anything more than a house, really, if you've got a house, you should also have a will. But if you've got any sort of investments, shares, anything, you should make sure you have a will. So getting legal advice early on to make sure that you get the right structure for you is super important. So Greg, I think that's what we wanted to cover today for what is a will.
A will indeed. We have covered that topic. As you said, that's it for us today, Jeremy. Thank you for tuning in, and that is tuning to the show. If you want to follow us, like the SMS Law Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, connect with us on LinkedIn. And if you really, really like us and want to leave a review and a rating for the podcast, please jump on the platform where you're getting it from, Apple or Spotify or whatever it might be, and leave a review. And then that way other people can see that review and see how great it is and tune in. So as I've said previously, we do share other material throughout the time between podcasts. So get involved in the community, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.